question every couple needs to answer. What if something happens to us? Kids, a house, a life you've built, but no estate plan? That's a risk you don't want to take. With Trust and Will, it's fast, secure, and easy to protect what matters most. Start your plan today at trustandwill.com. Use code RADIO to save 20%. Check it off your list. One less thing to worry about. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Days after a gunman who drove from Las Vegas to New York City went on a shooting spree in a Manhattan high-rise building, killing 4 people, there are funeral services for the off-duty police officer who was among the victims and working security at the time.
Officer Dieterul Islam will be eulogized at a mosque in the Bronx neighborhood where he lived and served at the NYPD's 47th precinct. City officials and fellow officers will mourn with his wife and children. The service comes as police continue to delve into the background of Shane Tamura, the man who shot and killed Islam and 3 others and wounded a 4th before taking his own life. Wednesday, it was revealed a co-worker at a Vegas casino sold Tamura the rifle used in Monday's shooting. Police say they plan to talk to Tamura's parents and get warrants to search his phone and laptop. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A city councilman in Virginia is now a patient at a burn center in North Carolina the day after somebody set him on fire at a magazine office where he worked.
Magazine publisher Andrew Brooks posted a Facebook video saying a suspect attacked staffer Lee Vogler, who also serves as Danville City Councilman.
An individual forced his way into our office carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline and poured the gasoline on Lee.
Vogler ran, but the suspect caught up to him and set him on fire. Police say they busted that suspect near the incident. He's been identified as Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes. The cops say the attack was the result of a personal matter. Jill Nato, Fox News.
We'll get an inflation update this hour. The morning after the Federal Reserve, citing concerns about tariffs raising prices, left interest rates unchanged, upsetting President Trump, who wants a big rate cut. He just posted on Truth Social, Fed Chair Jerome Powell is too stupid and too political. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Thursday edition, Valley's Morning News. It's News Radio for South Texas for July 31st, 2025. Show producer Fred Cruz, AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on standby. I'm Sergio Sanchez. We got another scorcher of a forecast. And reading the remainder of the week, yeah, we're going to be into the 100s for the next 5 days. Texas Republicans, they want to redraw the state's congressional boundaries. They released a map on the proposed boundaries for congressional seats in Texas yesterday. One of the biggest changes might be the border. Congressman Henry Cuellar, Democrat, Texas District 28, Western Valley. He would lose his Democrat base in San Antonio.
This is designed to basically knock Henry Cuellar out and create a Republican district.
That is Professor John Taylor at UT San Antonio.
2024, where you had right at roughly a majority of Latino voters, at least in that portion of the state, vote Republican.
And the border is leaning Republican.
This is a reflection, I think, in some respects about what we are seeing in terms of political realignment in South Texas, especially along the Rio Grande.
It's 7:06 on the Valley's Morning News. Up in Austin, legislation banning hemp consumables with THC is again moving to the Texas Capitol.
There being 20 ayes and 9 nays, the bill passes on gross.
And with that, Senate Bill 5 is approved by the Texas Senate, much like Senate Bill 3 in the regular session. To author State Senator Charles Perry.
CBD and CBG will still be legal. Additionally, whole hemp seeds, hemp seed protein powder, hemp seed oil will remain legal.
All hemp with THC would become illegal. Hemp retail store owners are reeling. This could lead to the closing of 8,000 of them. Lucas Gilkey owns Hometown Hero CBD.
We just got word that it is expected to have HB 5 heard in the House committee early next week. We are putting out a call to prep everybody. Please be ready.
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
What is the future of USMCA? That'd be U.S., Mexico, and Canada, the trade agreement. President Trump with new threats against Canada after the prime minister in Canada said that a trade deal with Canada would be very difficult because of a nation or an organization that Canada wishes to recognize as a nation.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said that Canada condemns the fact that the Israeli government has allowed a catastrophe to unfold in Gaza and will recognize a Palestinian state in September during a meeting of the UN. Carney said the move was subject to reforms by the Palestinian Authority, including elections next year in which Hamas can play no part. Last week, both France and Britain said they will recognize a Palestinian state as outrage grows over the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. I'm Mark Mayfield.
President Trump suspending an exemption placed on low-value commercial shipments to the U.S. The president signed an executive order that puts an end to that exemption on August 29th. Once the exemption ends, imported goods valued at $800 or less will be subject to duties. And the change is expected to hit the fashion industry and tourism industry the hardest. Time is 7:08. It's News Talk 710 KURV. Valley's Morning News for Thursday. I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch. They provide us 7 o'clock AccuWeather. It is the certified dealer in South Texas for Purina liquid feed. Martin Farm and Ranch AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina joining us. All right, Jason. 103, 104, 105. No break, no relief in sight for this. Long range, 10, 14 days out. The computer's giving you any hope to break this pattern?
No. Sorry.
It's that big heat dome, right? In the
It's this setup has been really tough to break this season thus far for much of the country, to be honest with you. So just been rough out there, and it's going to stay that way as we make our way through, at least the weekend and into the middle part of next week at this point.
Tropical coverage 2025, right? Nothing. 10, 14 days out for the Gulf. For us.
Yeah, no, just quiet. Nothing expected over the next 7 to 10 days or anything as far as tropics out in the Gulf right now. So,
all right, pal. Texas travel, at least it's hot and dry, right? No big thunderstorms or tornadoes in Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio, nothing like that. We're good.
Just heat. Just heat, and more heat.
I'll take plenty of water with you. All right, pal. It is what it is, man. We're stuck in that pattern for a few days. Let's see what's on the menu for today. I normally did this with Nordine on a daily basis. Taking a look at the national menu for today. Let's see here. Oh, hug your precious pooch if your pooch is a mutt. It's National Mutt Day. Make sure to bathe them first, though, because then you get all the stinky on you. Or the hair. It's National Chili Dog Day. I want to say, not a fan.
No.
What the chili? What goes heartburn or what?
Yeah.
Makes it gassy or something
rough.
Like that.
Yeah, it's rough.
Okay. It's Chili Dog Day, but it's not complete without the cheese. It's got to be Chili Cheese Dog Day. Yes, it's not. You got to put some cheese on there. See, raspberry cake and all this one will help you with your good cholesterol level. Eat a lot of this. National Avocado Day. So there you go. That by itself. Which, by the way, there are. What's the name of that? It's a cafe. They call it some cafe, North McAllen. They got this half avocado with like chicken salad in the middle, like a scoop of chicken salad. Oof. That's
hollow out where the pit used to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they fill it in with. Tall glass of cold water. Okay, I know what I'm doing for lunch. Freddie, you want to go? Yeah, no. All right, Jason, call you next hour. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. 103 today, 104 tomorrow, 105 the next day, and so on and so forth. There you go. 103 to 105. That's the range for the next several days. Although, if you take a look at the temperature gauge in your vehicle, it's like 2 or 3 degrees higher than that, always. The time is 7:12 on the Valley's Morning News. And a look at the weather and, of course, your AC unit working overtime. Just a reminder, basic tips on try to save some money on the light bill this summer.
Reliant Energy says some options to save money don't take a lot of time and planning.
So there's lots of different things you can do to make your house energy efficient.
Reliant's Chief Experience Officer, Susie Deeth, says that can include keeping blinds closed during the day and running ceiling fans.
And then personally, you want to stay hydrated. You want to make sure that you're keeping your fluid levels up and being aware of temperatures.
She says you might also check your HVAC filter, saying changing filters can help your AC run efficiently and could save money long term by avoiding repairs and extending its life.
Yeah, check that filter. And I'll say it just as a public service. I'll admit I got distracted. I left it there a month too long. Oh, that's right. I got to change the filter. Yeah, it's been constantly working overtime, right? And it almost sounded like the AC system was able to relax a little bit. It sounded like it was working less as a result. Southwest Airlines customers can now book flights with assigned seating. Southwest saying it is intended to offer a smoother customer service.
Southwest says you can thank customer feedback on their travel experiences for the shift. 80% of their current passengers wanted this, they say, and 86% potential customers preferred assigned seating. The airline says it's making good on its promise of one cabin, more options, offering a new cabin design, more legroom, new fare bundles, plus extra perks. As of today, roughly 250 Boeing 737 planes have been realigned to have extra legroom in the front part of the aircraft, and they're retrofitting more planes every single week.
Artificial intelligence is being seen as a promising tool to help cure diseases in the future.
Doctors in Northern California have developed AI assistants to help in their research.
Using AI to generate ideas, to seed experiments in the lab, it's just a very natural, in my mind, a no-brainer.
Dr. John Pack with the Chan Zuckerberg Biohub Network in San Francisco tells NBC Bay Area that AI assistants won't replace human researchers, but they can help by handling tasks like coding, modeling, and attending meetings. Doctors at Stanford University and the Biohub Network created the AI team to increase the productivity of researchers, allowing them to focus on new treatments. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And the death of a 48-year-old Rio Grande City man aboard the Carnival Dream ship that went to the Yucatan a few days back. His death is being investigated by the FBI, although Carnival stated that the individual likely died of natural causes. Time is 7:14. This is the Valley's Morning News. We head over to Brownsville, the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation. Conversation I just had a few moments back with Gilbert Salinas, the director, reviews some of the industry that has been lured to the area. One in particular that has an ingredient. Maybe we can lure more high tech to the area with that one ingredient. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Active Liver is the easy way to get daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. Find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
At Rivetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Rivetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Rivetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Rivetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
The voice of the next generation of conservatives.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weeknights at 8 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and on the Radio Potami app.
News Talk 710 KURV is home to the Astros. They took the series from the Nationals, have a day off today. Then they're headed to Boston. Shout it. They're playing the Red Sox. Broadcast tomorrow, 6 p.m. on 710 KURV. Made possible by the Mission Economic Development Office. Big thank you as well to Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. Gilbert Salinas is director of the Brownsville Economic Development Office. Our guest this morning, let's start with Linde, a new arrival for Brownsville. What is Linde?
Okay. Morning, Sergio. Thanks for having us on
Yes,
your
sir.
show. Linde, that is our newest newest company that we've recruited to the area. What they are is an air separation unit, ASU. They are manufacturers of nitrogen, oxygen, and argon. So really what they do is they grab, the oxygen here in the Brownsville area, and they convert it into nitrogen and then also argon. And nitrogen and then refined oxygen is what they use to fuel the Starship. So this company, headquartered in the UK, they've got several plants in the United States, and they were looking at South Texas. And then essentially they said, yeah, we need to be in the Brownsville area, and if possible, as close as we can to Starbase, because a bulk of their business is going to SpaceX. So again, it's another tier 1 supplier that we've helped recruit and foster the entry into our market here. It's about between 100 to 150 million dollars in capital investment. They are actively discussing possibly adding a phase 2, from what I can gather. And it'll create upward of about a little over 100 jobs and high value add jobs and all that. And what's interesting is one of their byproducts is argon, and that is the fuel that is used for additive manufacturing, which is 3D printing, which is very much in alignment with our target sector. So again, it's one of these companies that's following the space sector. And oh, by the way, one of my byproducts is the raw material or fuel that's used for additive manufacturing. So we're hopeful that, and then with UTRGV recently announcing their additive manufacturing program, it just dovetails nicely to what we're trying to develop here.
The amount of argon that they might produce, would it sustain an assembly line for chip manufacturing or something else that would be high-tech related, or would they need to double, triple that capacity? Do you know?
Great question. So they also will service the medical sector. That's another big component of their portfolio. However, they can also service the semiconductor industry. So that to us is like, wow, talk about, one of the holy grails in economic development, being able to recruit a semiconductor facility, which again is something that we're working on. It'll be some time before we're able to make some inroads in that particular sector, but we definitely have a head start because some of the fuel and the raw material that's being used for that sector is being produced now here in Brownsville.
I would imagine it would make your recruitment efforts a lot easier to have someone producing that component, that gas, locally, to try to secure some high tech. Gilbert Salinas with Brownsville Economic Development. Where will they base this Linde? You mentioned about 100 employees. I think some of them might need to be like chemical engineers, or will there be a workforce training program through Texas A&M or UTRGV or Texas Southmost? What's the plan to get some of these people in the pipeline and get them ready to help out over at Linde?
Yeah, so it's all of the above. They're going to be at the North Brownsville Industrial Park, so they're actually officially one of our last tenants to take up that park out there. And as far as workforce, we're working with them already and trying to develop that pipeline for them. Half of their workforce is actually going to be truck drivers. So they are going to be actively seeking truck drivers, because a lot of this stuff gets trucked over to a lot of these different companies. And as you can imagine, it's pretty much a straight shot from there all the way to SpaceX. And then the other one, yes, they'll be using engineers. I think some electrical, some chemical engineers, some mechanical engineers, and they're already working with UTRGV with that pipeline. And that's one of the things that they said, them coming in is developing those relationships with our local educational institutions as well as workforce. I believe the Texas A&M, their training center down here, they're also engaged with them as well. So again, company like this is coming in. They're already hiring our local contractors, some of our local suppliers, some of our local vendors. So it has begun as far as them coming in and hiring locally and engaging with our local suppliers and vendors and with our educational institutions.
Gilbert Salinas, Director of the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation. That's the Economic Development Office for our city of Brownsville. Since we're on the topic of a supplier to SpaceX, give me an update. What do you hear? What do you know as far as expansion? I know they got so many different projects going on for that retail and also the destination project near the river, and they got housing and the Giga rocket plant. So what can you share with us from SpaceX?
Yeah, we're there actually just last week, meeting with some of their leadership, and yeah, they're continuing. Every time you drive out there, you're just amazed with some of the different things that they have going on. And one of them is housing. You're starting to see the housing out there at Starbase City, which is just in itself is very cool. So you're seeing that. I know that they must be getting ready for a launch here pretty soon. We haven't seen anything, but we've been getting updates about the beach getting close as they're starting to test. So that's usually an indicator that something's in the pipeline. And as far as growth, I mean, they're at 3,600 employees and growing.
Wow.
So they expect to grow significantly here in the next 2 to 3 years. What does that mean? Not too sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they double in operation here in the next few years.
Yeah.
And then the retail component, you're starting to see where they're moving dirt. But there's one interesting thing is that they're now building a Tesla diner out there. There's only 2 in the United States. The first one is out in LA, and now the second one is going to be here. And it's a retro theme restaurant that's going to be open to the public. And it's Elon himself, he's a big fan of, like the Jetsons, right?
Yeah.
You see components or you get that kind of feel when you're walking his plant. So now they got the Tesla diner, which is going to have that feel again. Yeah, that 1950s, 60s.
So it's like
a
glorified Sonic drive-in, right? Where they're car hops and right, where you take a Tesla, right?
Something along those lines, yeah. So that in itself is just going to be very, very cool. And again, just another way how they're looking for ways to incorporate and engage with the community here, wherever they can. Welcome them in to their Starbase complex.
Which begs the question: is it exclusive? Only Tesla vehicles can park in that little drive-in and enjoy a meal and movies, whatever it is, or can anybody drive into? It's just called a Tesla cafe or whatever they want to call it.
Well, I'm not too sure if it's an actual drive-in, but
that's what I saw in pictures.
Diner.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that, but I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure they'll allow regular vehicles and, well, Texas being Texas, allow us to drive our trucks in there. That's an assumption on my part. But
okay, well, yeah, as long as they let me in with my Chevy trucks. No, sir, you need a
there you go.
You need a cyber truck to get in here. Gilbert Salinas is Director of Economic Development Efforts for Brownsville. Hopefully, we can see you in a couple of weeks. I know phone keeps ringing, and that's a good thing. We'll be happy with punting our broadcast with you as often. Just keep that phone ringing, man. Get more people down here. We might have like a too big program. In about 2 weeks, we might have like a big program to talk about. So, just ballpark there. Tell me potential economic benefits, impact for something like that, and if what type of sector does it benefit? Does it complement LNG? Does it complement Starbase? Or
something like that. It enhances everything that we're working on already. Just being able to inform the public as far as what we're working on. And then with, today's day and age, I mean, people can just log in through YouTube or just social media to find out what you're working on, what you're doing. I like to say that, programs like this, efforts like this, marketing efforts like this, not too long ago, we're meeting with, I think it was the Texas Workforce Commissioner, but then it was a site selector. Which actually the site selector is going to be in town this week. And he said, I was reading about the Brownsville area, saw some stuff online, so on and so forth, saw some of these videos, and wow, you guys are just handing it out of the park. And I knew some of the stuff that we're working on. So whenever we're meeting with a site selector or corporate executive, and they start the conversation like that, I mean, you're already ahead of the game.
Excellent.
And, Sergio, that was not the case, years ago, where it was when they called you, the first question was border insecurity or immigration, which is, the top, topics, national news, right? But now that script has flipped, and I just can't wait what it's going to be like here in years to come as this area, and specifically the Brownsville area, the Rio Grande Valley, our narrative is changing, and it's changing for the good.
Well, it's good to hear that a more secure and stable crossing at the border more secure border has at least removed those headlines, right? Has taken that out of New York's hands, and now you can own it with what's taking place thanks to news out of the Port of Brownsville and traditional energy, and of course what's taking place with SpaceX. I would imagine that some of the work over at the Community Improvement Corporation, Nathan Burkhart and all the gang over there, BCIC, and trying to find businesses to complement or trying to develop businesses that complement what's taking place at Starbase. That's also paying off because they're focusing on space industry related or engineering related businesses as well. You got a few in the pipeline, I would imagine.
Correct. So we're two separate economic development entities, and ours focuses on industry, tech, so on and so forth, energy and space, and bringing in what I like to call the big boys, right? Because those are the ones that have the biggest economic impact, the largest reach as far as creating those economic ripples in any particular community. So when we bring in, let's just say, a SpaceX, and we're living it, right? They're creating the jobs, the capital investment, but then they're pulling the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 suppliers. So then what the other entity, the BCIC, what they do, they come in and they help fill in the gaps as far as helping small businesses, helping some of our local entrepreneurs. And when I say local, it's entrepreneurs from the Valley. And then some of the smaller entities that come in to enhance and encourage that local business to support the bigger projects that we're bringing in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
and so that it worked very, very good, hand in hand, as far as the system that we have in place.
That last conversation with them, it's good to hear. Yet it's always terrific helping local folks develop their restaurants or other services like that. But yeah, they're very laser focused on complementing through small business and locals some of the big stuff that's taking place on as far as space and aerospace. Hey, before I let you go, just in a few seconds, anything else you want to mention as far as recruitment efforts? Maybe the big fish in a couple of weeks, hopefully, and what the economic impact of that employment-wise or investment might be. Yeah.
All right. So we continue recruitment efforts in northern Mexico, more specifically Monterrey, and then the Midwest. We're in Chicago again. And as a result of our recruitment efforts in the Midwest, we do have a metal fabricator, CNC machine operation that we'll be announcing here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's about somewhere between 70 to 80 jobs, about $10 million in capital investment, 50,000 square foot facility, new construction. I don't want to say it's a project on the smaller side, because years ago this would have been a huge project for us. But again, it's just one of those projects coming in, and they're looking at Brownsville because of our connectivity to Mexico and Latin America, but also because they will come in and complement some of the other industries that we have here, such as the space sector, such as the energy sector. And they said, we just need to be there because we tap into innovation, and that's where innovation is happening.
And as long as more companies realize that, we'll be having more announcements. Thank you, Gilbert, for the update.
Happening.
Yeah, we'll check in with you in a couple weeks. Gilbert Salinas is director of the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation Economic Development Arm for Brownsville. Thanks, Gilbert. Time 7:31. Valley's Morning News, and I'm staying in Brownsville with the Port of Brownsville. You're an information-minded individual. Appreciate you listening to KURV. Now, if you visit their website for the Port of Brownsville, portofbrownsville.com, you'll get a monthly report on tenant activity, new tenants that are coming. There's a lot taking place. We got multiple billions of dollars, tens and tens of billions of dollars being invested in the Rio Grande Valley, injected at the port. We have thousands of people right now headed to work. Probably they're changing shifts right now. Probably another crew going out there. Thousands of individuals building that liquefied natural gas node. You are an information-minded individual, and this is why I want to say thank you to the gang at the Port of Brownsville for allowing me for several years now to inform you of their website. And you go there and get the monthly newsletter. And as soon as we find out when the final investment decision is made on the second liquefied natural gas node, more tenants for their industrial park, the benefits of all the dredging, new tenants coming as a result of bigger ships headed to this area, all that stuff, you'll be the first to know. Maybe a business opportunity, might be a career opportunity for you or someone you love. portofbrownsville.com. Sign up for the free newsletter.
I don't know anything more frustrating for a man than to be getting dressed, only to find as you are about to tie your tie, a collar button on your dress shirt is either broken or missing. Hi, this is Marty Moore from D&M Cleaners. I pray this never happens to one of our customers, but if you do discover a broken or missing button, we will not only replace that button and re-launder that shirt, we will also give you a certificate for $10 in dry cleaning. Now that's guaranteeing the quality of our workmanship. Maybe now's the time to step up to D&M Cleaners. Farr, McAllen, Edinburgh.
Michael Berry, host of The Michael Berry Show, inviting you to join Sergio Sanchez, my buddy, for The Sergio Show. Weekday mornings starting at 9 on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Potami app.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
The Houston Astros were fueled by Jose Altuve's 4-hit game yesterday as they defeated the Washington Nationals 9-1. Houston took an early 1-0 lead in the first, and Jose Altuve mashed a 3-run homer in the second.
First pitch here, and Altuve hits it high in the air, pretty deep to left. It sends back Wood at the wall, looking up. See you later! Into the Landry's Crawford boxes. A 3-run shot for Jose Altuve, and a 4-1 lead for the Astros. Altuve's 18th of the year.
And Houston would never look back. The score would remain 4-1 until a 5-run sixth as the Astros routed Washington 9-1. Their next series is a 3-game set against the Boston Red Sox. Game 1 is tomorrow with Hunter Brown taking the mound. First pitch is scheduled for 6:10. And the Texas Rangers were able to get the win last night thanks to a great game by Nathan Eovaldi. He went 7, allowing 6 hits and 1 run, notching his 100th career win. The next series is against the Seattle Mariners, and the two teams are currently tied in the standings. Tonight, it's Kumar Rocker versus George Kirby, with first pitch scheduled for 8:40. I'm Dylan Moore, TSN Sports Minute.
Baseball trade deadline is today. Mariners swinging a second big deal with the Diamondbacks, acquiring third baseman Eugenio Suarez from Arizona for first baseman Tyler Locklear and a couple of minor league pitchers. Phillies acquired reliever Johan Duran from the Twins. Yankees got outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox. Mets beefing up their bullpen, acquired reliever Tyler Rogers from the Giants. NFL preseason tonight. Lions take on the Chargers in the Hall of Fame game in Canton. That's sports. I'm Ron Moss.
AccuWeather says hot, hot, hot. No relief in sight. Gee, wow. 103, 104 today. Tomorrow, next day, day after that. Going into early next week, starting the week at 105 on Monday. That's the forecast. Hot and dry weather persists for Texas, for us, and for all of Texas. So take some refreshments with you if you're hitting the highways, going to Central Texas, San Antonio, or Houston. Border Bridge wait times is posted on KURV.com. Let's see if they've updated these numbers for McAllen. No, they need to update McAllen, so let's go to Brownsville. Last numbers that we saw for Brownsville. It's about 20, 30 minutes at Gateway and Veterans coming back to the U.S. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV. Some business news and a check of your money. That's up next.
When the odds are against you, a force for justice will be there. When you need someone to defend you, when you need a champion, we will be that force. So if the unfortunate ever happens and you or someone you love is in an accident, call me, Jay Gonzalez, at Jay Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen 956-368-5247. That's drtsprimary.care.com.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC. McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Later this morning, traders will watch out for June's personal consumption expenditures price index reading. Economists polled by Dow Jones see headline PCE rising 2.5% on a 12-month basis and 0.3% from the prior month. Data drops in 10 minutes. Shares of AB InBev plunged as much as 11% after the world's largest brewer posted a worse-than-feared decline in second quarter volumes, even as revenues and profits surged ahead. The Budweiser maker said volumes declined 1.9% year-over-year over the 3-month period. Eli Lilly said its blockbuster diabetes drug Mounjaro showed similar heart health benefits as the company's older diabetes treatment Trulicity in a late-stage trial directly comparing the two medicines. Eli Lilly plans to submit the data to global regulators by the end of the year, and the company said that could lead to approvals of Mounjaro for this purpose in 2026. Futures are moderately higher. Yesterday, the Dow Industrials lost 171. That's your money now.
President Trump is promoting a Make Health Technology Great Again agenda. He's rolling out a DOGE-backed plan to encourage more seamless sharing of healthcare data between states and the federal government. TikTok is allowing its users who've been accepted into a pilot program to start providing additional context to videos. This new feature, footnotes, and the footnotes that are deemed helpful by contributors who typically have a differing point of view will become visible. Those footnotes will become visible in the TikTok post. TikTok first announced in April that it was testing this new feature, similar to something provided by X and Facebook on Meta. TikTok also announcing several new safety and well-being features, including parental oversight for teens. Texas manufacturing sector is surging, with the latest figures showing production at a 3-year high for the state of Texas. Latest figures from the Dallas Federal Reserve showing that manufacturing is now beating analyst expectations. And renewable energy having a moment in Texas, which is now the nation's leader in wind and solar generation. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Here's a quick check of AccuWeather.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. For today, mostly sunny, breezy this afternoon, highs in the upper 90s to almost 105. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight, the low 78. For Friday, sunny to partly cloudy, highs back to the upper 90s to almost 105. And Saturday, sun and some clouds, highs in the upper 90s to 105. Mostly sunny Sunday, highs in the upper 90s to just over 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Right now it's 78 degrees at 710 KURV HQ in Mission, Texas. Thank you for waking up with the Valley's Morning News. Join us on your smartphone. Radio Para Mi is the free app. Download it and look for us, 710 KURV at Radio Para Mi, and listen to the Valley's Morning News. We got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health.
From DHR Health, ICU Medical Director, Dr. Juan Marcos Chavez Paz.
When we started working together 3 years and a half ago, rebuilding the ICU in DHR Health System post-COVID, we were all motivated for all the losses after COVID. The main reason the patients died after COVID was respiratory failure, and we took that personal. We decided that we want to become among the best treating this condition. All the teams worked together towards the same goal, and we went for it. It took 3 years and a half, but we are proud to say that we are among the elite in the nation in regards of management of respiratory failure for any reason. What we are is an interprofessional team. We work focusing on quality, we follow metrics, and we are leaders. We are the only hospital to offer not just this accreditation as the sign of maximum quality, but also, for example, ECMO support. That is the most advanced life support existing in the world. We do ECMO. Nobody else has that in the region. We also have a team of 24/7 in-house doctors, and nobody else offers that. This is a team of intensive care doctors. Trauma, they have their own team. We also have a specific preparation for each of the units that we take over. For example, we have a special unit in the women's hospital, and we train in specific ICU conditions, and we are trained by the Society of Critical Care Medicine. DHR help us bringing here the courses. DHR wants everybody to be on top of knowledge. That's why the patients are coming from other areas, not just for our accreditation, but more because of what the hospital is showing everywhere.
ICU Medical Director at DHR Health, Dr. Juan Marcos Chavez Paz, DHR Health.
This has been Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health. For you, for life.
Yeehaw! Little cowboys and cowgirls, the Back to School Bash 2025 is coming with boots and backpacks on. Join the fun Saturday, August 2nd at La Plaza Mall in McAllen with News Talk 710 KURV and the Law Office of Mario Davila. The first 400 kids will receive free backpacks, prizes, tablets, and more. There'll be music, games, a magician, clowns, and even face painting. Don't miss the most fun event of the year. Back to School Bash 2025. Presented by Idea Public Schools.
You've made the right choice for news and information. News Talk 710 KURV. KURV.com.
Thursday edition of the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, along with show producer Fred Cruz and AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. I'm Sergio Sanchez. Thank you for waking up with us. It's 79 at Mission. Highs today should be about 103, 104 across the valley later in the day. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump posting today on Truth Social, tariffs are making America great and rich again, but a U.S. appeals court will review the president's power to use tariffs after a lower court ruling said he exceeded his authority with sweeping levies on imported goods. That's coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern. New tariffs go into effect at midnight. A dozen House Democrats are going to court to fight the Trump administration.
After the Maryland congressional delegation were denied entry to a Baltimore ICE processing facility on Monday, and now a coalition of Democratic lawmakers is suing the Department of Homeland Security, citing the agency's new policy requiring them to give a week's notice before any visit.
Fox's Chanley Painter at DHS responded these members of Congress could have just scheduled a tour. Instead, they're running to court to drive clicks and fundraising emails. America's listening to Fox News.
Texas Republicans still working on redrawing the Texas congressional maps. Some of the changes released in new maps that were proposed yesterday. For example, District 28, that would be the Western Valley, where Democrat Henry Cuellar resides. District 28 would lose its San Antonio Democrat base. It's just another indication how the border is becoming increasingly Republican. In Austin, legislation banning hemp consumables with THC. It's still moving through the state capitol.
There being 20 ayes and 9 nays, the bill passes to engrossment.
And with that, Senate Bill 5 is approved by the Texas Senate, much like Senate Bill 3 in the regular session. To author State Senator Charles Perry.
CBD and CBG will still be legal. Additionally, whole hemp seeds, hemp seed protein powder, hemp seed oil will remain legal.
All hemp with THC would become illegal. Hemp retail store owners are reeling. This could lead to the closing of 8,000 of them. Lucas Gilkey owns Hometown Hero CBD.
We just got word that it is expected to have HB 5 heard in the House committee early next week. We are putting out a call to prep everybody. Please be ready.
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Mars Candy Company saying they plan to inject an additional $2 billion in U.S. manufacturing.
The M&M's maker said this week the investment in U.S. operations will be made through next year and include a $240 million facility in Salt Lake City that will create over 230 new jobs. Nearly all Mars candy sold in the U.S. is already produced locally. Last year, Mars announced a $36 billion deal to buy Kellanova, the company behind brands including Kellogg's and Pringles. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Brown University has agreed to a deal with the Trump administration that will restore some federal research funding.
In return, the Ivy League school will pay $50 million over 10 years to support workforce development in Rhode Island. The funds were frozen earlier this year over allegations it failed to address anti-Semitism and used discriminatory admissions practices. As part of the deal, the school agreed to follow federal rules on sex and gender and increase support for Jewish students and Israel-related programs. Similar deals have been reached at Columbia and Harvard. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Big news on trade. President Trump suspending an exemption placed on low-value commercial shipments to the U.S. So the president signed an executive order that will put an end to the exemption at the end of August. Once the exemption ends, imported goods valued at $800 or less will be subject to tariffs, subject to taxes. And Waymo, they said that they're headed to the Dallas area. The fully autonomous rideshare, Waymo, will be giving folks rides in the Dallas area sometime next year. This is the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV. Join us at Radio Para Mí. It's a free app for the redheaded stepchild of the family. You'll find a bunch of Spanish stations and music stations. And there it is, the only news talk station. The 710 KURV is at Radio Para Mí. Get that free app and listen on your smartphone.
Hi there, my name is Tony Bolstead. My wife and I, Carol, own Sand Monsters. We'd like you to come on out and have fun. We've got a half-mile long track out here. It runs across about 3.5 acres. Have adult cars and kid cars, getting laps in, learning how to drive on the sand. And we also lease space to Redline Helicopters is one of our tenants here, and they've got a pad and they do helicopter tours. Lone Star National Bank and the team there really helped us get this thing put together, answered all our questions, huge help.
I am Stephanie Harrison. I am the second generation owner of Sisters Interiors on South Padre Island. We had always dreamed of owning our own land and owning our own building, using our design team to create what you see here today. That's how we got involved with Lone Star National Bank. We partnered with them and they helped us, create the dream.
When you're separating from the military, no one tells you how hard it can be to get your civilian life up to speed. But with VA benefits, it doesn't have to be. From the VA home loan requiring no down payment, to the GI Bill covering tuition, books, and cost of living, to VA healthcare offering top-ranked, low-cost care designed specifically for veterans, all the support you need is at VA. I'm here telling every veteran because I wish someone had told me, get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Digging without contacting Texas 811 first could cost more than you think. Texas 811 is a free service that helps you avoid damaging underground utilities like electric or gas lines. Every year, accidents happen because someone didn't take a moment to contact 811. Whether installing a fence or working on a construction site, contacting Texas 811 is the law. It's quick, free, and keeps you safe. Visit texas811.org today for more information. Safe digging starts with one simple step. Make it today.
The latest news, weather, and information you need to know 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Log on to KURV.com or like us on Facebook. News Talk 710 KURV.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. For today, mostly sunny, breezy this afternoon, highs in the upper 90s to almost 105. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight, the low 78. For Friday, sunny to partly cloudy, highs back to the upper 90s to almost 105. And Saturday, sun and some clouds, highs in the upper 90s to 105. Mostly sunny Sunday, highs in the upper 90s to just over 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Summer is heating up, and so is our local economy. From sizzling business deals to community connections, News Talk 710 KURV and the Radio Para Mí app are here to keep you in the know. Download the Radio Para Mí app to stay informed and entertained. Whether it's local market updates, summer events, or the weather, we've got you covered. Support local, stay connected, and tune in to the pulse of Rio Grande Valley business. News Talk 710 KURV and the Radio Para Mí app, where